almost a year, never tried it. I bought this product. It's called Tint It. It's by Design Master. I think they have 10 different colors, and these take care of the tertiary colors. So my advice is always buy more than you need. So if you think one can will be enough for whatever your design is, and there's still some left in here, the color palettes you're gonna get are gonna vary on how much you keep layering your colors. But if you want a faded ombre, which is kind of what I wanted something a little bit more into the top 3 shades, you can kind of like coat it in different layers, spray, you know, maybe the edges or different sections of the mesh and go darker versus lighter. And so I was asked, number 1, if you're dyeing the mesh and a customer has it on their front door and it gets wet, would the colors run? So I was like, great question. Of course, you read the back of it and it doesn't really say, it just says dries in a few minutes to a satin finish. It will not smear when moistened, nor curl or warp paper. So you can actually use this to color paper as well. But I did do a test on it. I took it today, sprayed my mesh in a plum color, and went and ran it underneath the sink, took a white rag and really tried to rub the color off, and there was no color like visible at all on the material. Matter of fact, if you put it on, if you get it on your hands, it takes quite a bit of scrubbing to get that off. So the color is pretty steadfast. It won't run, is what I'm saying. You would really have to take a pretty abrasive, like a washcloth and maybe a type of an abrasive cleanser, and maybe, you know, do that. But why would you do that on a mesh? It answers a simple question. If it rains, would it run? The answer is no. So you can get this at Walmart. You can find some colors on Amazon. The best place to go is directly to the manufacturer, which is Design Master Tinted. What do they call it? Like spray dye, and purchase it there. So I always say, just like with ribbon and everything else, buy 2, or if you're gonna do an entire roll of Deco mesh, you're probably gonna need 3 of these. So we're only doing half, so we're kind of doing that ombre plum color, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of a ombre plum color. It's a little closer to the color on the lid. I could have gone a little bit darker, but I didn't want to go too dark and turn it like more of a dark purple. I still wanted it to be ombre colored. So we'll see how the whole design turns out based on what we work together. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to be removing my pipe cleaners on the center, because that 10-inch round will fit right in the center of our wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this, and then we are going to alternate on the inside and outside either the plum color or this natural deep mesh for our base design. So we have picked that up. Now I'm going to grab one of these. So what I like about the product is if you can't find roses or florals in that color, it definitely works. If you've got white flowers, you can spray dye them in whatever color you need, and it looks amazing.
The sign is from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we did beige on the outside, working our way back to the inside. You can tell these were all my sample pieces I was playing with to see if it was going to work or not. So the answer to the question is yes, it will work. So remember, we're not going grape. We're kind of going in between grape and lavender. I guess that would be the best way to describe it. So there we go. Leave that up. And now we're going to go back to our purple. And I can tell you that it dries in about 10 minutes. And it's good. You do have to spray both sides, unless you want white on one side and purple on the other. The easiest way to do it is to get the hangers that have the clips for pants and use those. So then you can hang it up, spray one side, flip it over, spray the other side. Okay. Do you guys have any questions at all that I can answer for you? As I'm doing the mesh, I'm pulling it towards me, and I'm just doing it about a finger's length. Like if I extend my fingers out and pull it back, I'm just doing it like leaving your hand in place and using your fingers to reach and pull the fabric. And I'm doing finished edges to the inside and the outside here. And for me, I'm trending more to the plum. So I'm gonna pull my plum just a little bit on top of the other colors, or the other color. Okay. Let's try to hold this one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any questions, Steve?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, you're frozen?
Yeah.
You are frozen.
Go back in, and now it's just taking time.
Good old Facebook again.
Of course, now I can't see all the past posts.
You can't?
Oh.
Hmm.
Great.
I'm sure you'll do.
One of the questions, I'll try to sum up those. She asked, so the mesh originally was white and then you spray painted it? The answer is yes.
Yes. So the mesh was originally white. That was the question. So did you start with white originally? The answer is yes.
Yes.
It was solid white, and that just gives you a truer color to what you'll spray. You know, if you tried to put it on top of a lavender, that would be an interesting thing to see if it would get you to an instantly darker purple. I doubt that. But whatever color you place it on, you're gonna have to fight if it's not just like a solid white. So my whole goal was, let's see what the true color turns out to be. It's falling all over the floor. I wanted to see what it looks like. If we put it, would the metallics still show? Like where if you painted this with purple or plum paint, you're not going to see the metallics. It would all be flat. And this still allows the metallics to shine through, which makes for a better use rather than paint. Which, had I thought about it, because I was like trying to find florals, but I have lots of white florals. Had I thought about it, I could have just spray painted my white florals to give me something that matched that plum.
Yep, and when she took it outside, she used it on hangers and some clothespins and spray painted both sides as much as she could. And they really dried within 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, like number one, it's super hot out here anyway. But yeah, I mean, I love that. I now want to go back to Shinoda and get all the colors because they have like the mint green, they have the teal blue. It's like all the colors that are hard to find. Corals, like a true coral color.
Karen, that is actually a good question. No, it does not leave any spray smell like a spray paint smell at all.
Because it's not a paint, it's a dye. And no, and it doesn't come off on your hands. Like I can sit here, paper towel. Hold on, I'll show you. So white paper towel, no purple dye. It all stays on here. It doesn't come off on your hand. It doesn't bleed on your paper towel.
Jill, no odor to it. Even we were spray painting it.
Oh, it
not really any odor at all.
Yes, so that's the big bonus. Is because there's no. What is the precautions?
Irvina asked how much is a can.
$4. I was gonna look. So remember, I'm purchasing it through a wholesaler, so I don't know. I want to say, yeah, about $4 is I think what I saw it for on Walmart. If they had it in stock, I think it was $4.12. So not that expensive at all. So it solves the problem in what do I do if I need a Deco mesh color that doesn't exist, but I have a client who's looking for a color that doesn't exist. I'm looking at my colors. So purple, we're back to beige. Finishing this one out. Okay. I'm just counting how many actually flew out of the cart when I grabbed these. You can tell this was probably the last piece to the inside part of my Deco mesh roll. Okay, we're going to take our inside, lay it on top. Add this to the inside. Let this go over. And we need to cut.
Don't quote us on that $4 though. We're not sure. We'd have to check.
Well, I know when I pulled it up, because I just did a Google search and I put in Design Masters Tinted spray dye, and Walmart was one of the vendors that came up. And so you could click on it, it just says out of stock. So I don't know when they would get that back in stock, but it said $4.12. So it just doesn't seem like a Walmart price. $4.86.
So I'm looking at one, I found one, not the right color, it's a pink.
Yeah.
But it's $7 a can.
Where?
So it's a little pricey at Walmart.
At Walmart?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe your wholesalers or maybe going directly to the manufacturer might yield you better price. Again, it's I bought it to try it because it's like, does it really work?
Yeah, it's definitely a good option.
Yeah. Let me see. We did beige, purple. We're back to beige.
So, Anna said, could you please do a close-up of how you're tying each piece of mesh?
How I'm tying?
How you're tying, how you're putting it in with the pipe cleaner.
Okay, so mesh like this. Finished edge here is going directly to the center of my design. Right where I'm holding it in my hand is where I'm taking my pipe cleaner. Oops, and just twisting it. You're just securing that bundle that you had in your hand right into your pipe cleaner like arms. And again, we're going purple to the outside because I want that to be primarily the color.
And you guys can experiment. I mean, I know Kat was using the tint because you can still see the foil through the tint. Mm-hmm. As if you were to use actual spray paint, you would just cover over all the foil.
Oh, I was like,
Rita, the size is a 10 by 10 inch round.
I was like, what happened to the purple? I have it in my hand. Fell behind the cart. Okay. Back in here. Okay. Let's open this up a little bit. Back up there. Beige. Nope, purple. Purple then beige. Right? I needed to move it over one. Move it over here. This is what happens when you get out of your sink and you're like, oh, no, it's beige that needs to go next. Okay, there's that. Here's where my other purple goes. And then we'll be good to go. I think if I would have had 2 cans, I could have gone a little bit darker on this. So it's kind of, would it be like, yeah, it would be a light plum. Not a lavender, but a light plum. That's not our gardener, is it?
No.
Okay. I was like, I hear a lawnmower in the back. I was like, it's not our gardener. Shouldn't be our gardener. Okay. Last piece of beige. And then we're done. What do you think of the color though? It's definitely a different color mesh that you don't see. And we're gonna pop it with all kinds of, again, struggling to find the right color combination. Because when you pull that purple, you either go grape or lavender. So it even becomes a challenge with ribbon. Okay. Making sure everything is there. So there is our base color. So it's got lights and darks in it, just based on if you're bunching the mesh closer together, it's a little bit darker. If the mesh is laying a little bit more, just one layer, you have a little bit of a lighter lavender look, and all the metallic threads still fall through. The ribbon colors are going to be, we are doing a burlap, like the stretchy burlap, because we're going to come in and add some fall florals, some fall leaves, some plum colored berries. So we need something we can add florals to. So this is going to be attached to our purple. And then obviously we're taking the plum color and we're putting this on our natural. Then we'll come back in and we're going to add some ribbon tails or half bows in either the autumn leaf color or this darker purple kind of plummy color. So Joann's for the stretchy, although Craft Outlet carries this now. Joanne started it. And then this is traditional, in the traditional section for Hobby Lobby. Both are cut to 14-inch pieces. So I'm going to alternate doing our tails. So purple's going on beige, beige is going on purple. And these just go right into the center of our pipe cleaners. And we're just gonna pop those colors in. Now the stretchy mesh ribbon, you can't cut, you can't dovetail that. So you just wanna cut straight across. Pull this one up.
I'm gonna say I love it, and opens a whole new mesh world.
It really does. So yeah, grab yourself a couple cans of that, and if you just want it to be way different than somebody else, because that's like doing custom color mixing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our plum colored ribbon.
Elena, there's not too many uses for a 6-inch mesh. Just said, would you be able to use a 6-inch size mesh as well to make the wreath? Not for something like this, but for the candy cane or
yeah, there's other
heart.
Yeah, there's other designs that I would use 6-inch mesh for, more for the custom frame shapes. Right. I was trying to think of the word for it. The cross, the candy cane, the star, stuff like that, smaller. Or if you're doing a smaller diameter, you could. If we did 5-inch mesh on here, it would stay very much a 14-inch. Let me think.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16. It'd be about 19 or 20 inches in diameter, and this is 25 inches. So
yeah,
it's just
right.
a little
So
close.
the purple mesh would be great for a wine wreath, or even like a grapevine.
Mm-hmm.
You could add some of that color.
That would be interesting to see if that would work on a grapevine.
Yeah.
What the texture color would look like. But you would use a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because it's such a light coat. So if you want it darker, you're supposed to spray heavier, you know, let it dry in between coats and go darker. I don't want to go darker because then I'm like, well, I could just go get purple Deco mesh out of the inventory and do that. So this is my sample test. So this is truly a one-of-a-kind wreath. Because this mesh cannot be found in your local stores, right?
Well, the white can be found, but
not this color.
Right.
It's not paint, it's dye. Tinted, right. Don't want people to get confused and go, she painted her mesh. I didn't paint it. If I did, we wouldn't see the foils through there. And it would be more of a consistent flat color all the way through.
Yeah, kind of like through the video screen, you can see darker
purples.
and lighter colors.
It just depends on if it's bunched closer together in the ruffles.
Right.
So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. Let me look. I'm trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I have my sample ones. And we're going to add just a touch of sparkle to this. It's kind of hard when you are doing some designs because you bring everything out. Because if I was doing this by myself and not doing a live, I would bring out everything that I think I want to use and just work from that. You know, if I wanted to add more purple or I wanted to add more tan, do I want to add more floral? I even thought about doubling up on this ribbon to give it a darker plum because it's a sheer. But the problem is when you put the two together, they don't do the same things that they would do if it was that solid. Like you'll have two different, they lay differently. So we shall see when we're all finished. Couple more, then we'll go back in and start adding some plum. Here's the last two. Okay, didn't dovetail this one. So, dovetail. This is like a cheat sheet. When you can go, you take it, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And you're going to cut from the folded side to the tip of where your wires come together. And then you get dovetail on top and dovetail on bottom. Most people just do it one at a time, or they stack a couple and just do one end versus the other. On this case, they only had one, so shortcut. You should see the other colors of mesh you can do. Colors we haven't seen, but wish manufacturers made. And I'm sure they'll come out with them later in life. It's just these work for now. Okay, now we're going to take the purple and add the purple to the beige and add the beige to the purple. These are 18-inch pieces, and I just bring the tails together, which are dovetail cut, and go up about 2 inches from here and pinch in. These are going to go right inside the pipe cleaner. And you're just going to give it a couple twists. We're going to snip that off.
Hi, Ruth. So love your wreath making.
Thank you, Ruth. We're going to twist
Ray
that.
said, what do you call the stretchy ribbon? It's like a weave.
It's like, yeah, it's a mesh. Is it a mesh ribbon?
Yeah, it's from Joanne, right?
Yeah, but Craft Outlet sells it. You can look for stretchy Oh, what is it called? Is Gail on?
Yeah, Gail's on.
Gail, can you give me the exact name of what that stretchy ribbon is like on Craft Outlet or the Wreath Shop if they carry it? Like, what would people be looking for? Because I know what we do. We call it stretchy, but God, I don't even know what they would label it. Like a netting, a weave type. So I'm just going around and adding the plum to the beige. So this pretty much lines up with that color we tinted our mesh to. It's really close. There's that. So these are called half bows. They just, when I first started wreath making, whenever people would just put their ribbons in there, like just this, you know, and sometimes they would have one that lays on top, I always felt like something was missing. Like it needed to have something in the middle, whether you add an embellishment or a bow or something, it felt incomplete. So I came up with the half bows, which are like awareness ribbons that you can just tuck in. Okay. Alrighty. There's that. Making sure I don't have one tucked in there some. I think I'm good. I have one more left and one more here. And then we'll come in and we'll add this fall leaf ribbon because we're going to be adding leaves to this, but they're in that same really dark plum color, almost trending on a brown, I guess you could say. Brownish red, but it pulls in the darker colors. Okay. And then we'll go around and add our fall ribbons.
Jane said I'm doing a turquoise and beige one. That would be pretty.
Yes, those are very beachy colors. I love those colors together. Keep in mind that turquoise is either going to be more blue or more green. So you're going to have that same challenge of trying to match ribbons that are either more green or more blue. But they'll never be exact match with your mesh.
Yes, please hold.
Please hold. Okay, so we're going to come in and add our fall. Let me look. I'm going to look at this one and see what I think. Because if I want to change it, and I can change it really quick. Oh no, I might want to, let me cut. I have this different color purple, and I was thinking about it while I was creating it. I was like, I'd still like to see more purple. So let me cut one strip of this, replace it, and see what I like. Because the fall ribbon's okay, it works. Let's try this. Let's go over here, right? That changes a lot. Hold on. 2. No, we're gonna go with the fall because it's too purple. It's like purple ribbon on the bottom, but on the beige, I was just like, let's try it and see if that works. But I didn't like it. It was like just the pops of the The burlap mesh is all you're seeing.
Gail said it's kind of called an expandable mesh ribbon.
Oh, so expandable mesh ribbon?
Yeah.
Is what the stretchy ribbon's called on, is that Craft Outlet?
All she says is expandable mesh ribbons.
Okay.
So I'm still kind of looking to.
Gotcha. Okay, so now I can cut this one off. This just pops a little bit of that orange in here because we don't want all purple. That'd just be purple overkill, but I love purple.
Yeah, it just says 2.5-inch jute mesh ribbon. There's lime and red and green.
So they call it jute mesh?
Yeah, jute mesh ribbon.
Okay. So as long as it looks like that, you're good.
Yeah, that's that Craft Outlet.
So you don't see the expandable one?
No, but that's what it is. It shows the same picture of it. So.
Okay. Okay. So this will just bring our orange in because we're just going to add a couple pops of orange. I was tempted to add sunflowers to this because there's sunflowers in the sign, but for some reason the purple and orange I liked it from a designer's perspective. Like, I liked the way the colors worked well together rather than purple and yellow. So we're gonna pop the orange. This one was a challenge. I won't lie. Trying to come up with the colors. Because I was like, cool, got the mesh down, yay! I forgot ribbon. Are we gonna have enough ribbon to do this design? And yes, we did. So we're still gonna add that purple plaid, but it'll be in our bow. Last piece. Then we'll build our bow, add our sign, so you can see what I was seeing. And then we will begin to embellish with all of the purple florals and see which ones are going to look really well on this. Just opening these up. My purples. Okay, ribbon, tails, and bows are done. So those are all to the outside. And then now we're going to build our bow. So I'm going to take this and set this aside. We are going to use the stretchy ribbon as the bottom. We're doing the sheer up on top. Should I do that? I don't know. I might do it this way because we have a lot of purple. Okay. Then we're gonna do this purple. I'm like pairing all these out. I think I'm gonna do now. You guys know I always go color to the outside. What color do I want it to be on the outside? I might do this one and just squish them all together. I think we'll do that color combination. So this just helps me lay out from bottom to the top how my colors are going to lay on top of each other. And I kind of like that look. So Hobby Lobby normal for the 2.5. So we're going to dovetail it first. Okay. Then we are going to do a 10-inch tail. So right here, and I'm going to take my Bodabra and I'm going to flip it. You don't have to if it's the same on the front and the back, but It helps create some bulk to the center to kind of hold everything together, especially if you're doing thinner mesh. So 5.5 inch loop, 5.5 again. Just make sure. So I'm just keeping it on the 10, holding this out to the side and making sure the edge of my loop hits 5.5 inches. And then we're going back out to 20. Just like so. And now we'll do the stretchy ribbon. This is nice because this is 2.5 inch ribbon. Remember, we can't dovetail it, so this is going to be 9.5 inches. And I'll show you why it's called stretchy ribbon. It actually stretches to 4 inches. So we'll go there with a 9.5 inch tail. We're going to do a 5 inch loop. So we just want to make sure our measurements are on target. Back here. If it's not quite to the measurement, you know, keeping it on your 10 and then pulling it out, you can always pull it this way and make that manual adjustment. 9.5. So here's why it's called stretchy ribbon. So this is 2.5, right? You can stretch it all the way out so that you have a 4 inch ribbon. So it just depends on what kind of look you're going for. And then you can also squish it back down to 2.5 inches again. But it's fun to play with. And so that's how you finish the tails on that. So when we get finished and we're ready to fluff, we'll be taking our tails and fanning the outside edges. So that's how you can make that look better than plain straight cut. Okay, now we're gonna go with our purple canvas, and this is gonna be a 9 inch tail with a 4.5 inch loop. This ribbon came from Kringle. It's one of their solid colors. So it's Kringle Designs with a K, kringledesigns.us. We're going out 4.5 inches. So just double check. Make sure everything's not getting all pinched.
You did, that's awesome, because I've been practicing my bow making on the Bowdabra instead of the Easy Bow Maker, and my bows are looking much better. I'm still struggling with a little bit getting my lengths right. Thanks for suggesting it, Kat.
Oh, you're so welcome. I just like it because you can use it for other things. And with wreath makers, it's always going to be about space and where are we going to store that. So this is small. If you keep it in its original box, you know, it's a rectangle so you can stack it.
And Melissa said, I've always loved the purple and orange colors together. Really would love those as my wedding colors one day.
Wouldn't that be pretty? Yeah, when you start to see us add the oranges in there, you'll be like, wow, that just really pops those colors.
Sharon said those are all pretty ribbons.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the fall leaves on the natural is from Craft Outlet, if they still carry it. A lot of my fall ribbons are from last year or in years past. 8.5. And I actually thought I had bought new plum colored fall ribbon, but I think I was mistaking it for the blue that's trending right now instead.
She just asked where you can buy the expendable ribbon. Craft Outlet has it. Gail also said you can find it on poywreathsigns.com.
Okay.
She has it too.
Probably on the Wreath shop as well.
Yeah.
So just look for the ribbon that looks like that. And now they make it in a wide variety of colors. When we first started, all they had was the neutral. And Craft Outlet, nobody sold it for a while. And then they made it. So that was kind of nice. Okay. Always dovetailing our ends to get that finished look. When I first learned how to make bows, it changed how Christmas packages looked every year. So you can make some really beautiful Christmas packages. This is exactly like the 2.5 inch ribbon. This is from Hobby Lobby in their everyday section. So this is our 2.5 or 1.5 inches, and we're doing the same thing. This time we're going 8 inches for the tail length, and we're doing 4-inch loops. So this is going to kind of give it a little bit of an airy feeling. There we go. We're going 4 inches in. Double check. There's 4. Since this ribbon is so thin, kind of have to hold it so you get your measurement in. Then do your twist, measure it so it doesn't spiral out by itself. Out 2. There's 8. It has a mind of its own. See, it wants to lift. Last one is going to be the one that I wasn't 100% sure of. We're going to do the purple plaid, and this will be a 7.5 inch tail with a 3.5 inch loop. So we're just adding those final pops of lavender purple, a touch of black, and a little bit of the blue, or not blue, white. 3.5. 3.5. Let's double check both sides. And then 7.5, it's on the lavender. Dovetail this, and then we're ready to put it together, fluff it, and then put everything together. This is there. Okay, those are done. We will use purple pipe cleaner. You're gonna pick this whole thing up like a small sandwich, a little bit smaller. Feed your pipe cleaners through. Put a nice tight twist on there, and then just hold the pipe cleaner in your hand but twist the ribbon. Okay. Now we will fluff. So I'm always asked, where'd you buy your fluff board? It's actually just a cutting board. It's an 18 by 24, so 24 by 18. 3/4 inch thick. This is an 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook with a little screw. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they have them in the pre-cut lumber section. They're going to be like lined up on the top shelves. You will, I think the ones that they pre-cut are 24 by 24 by 1 inch, which works out perfectly, and you'll love it just because you have space. Like, we would do it on our cutting mat, but there's no way to secure the ribbon from sliding all over your mat. There's nowhere for us to attach a hook to this. So I'm just gonna take this, loop it under my pipe cleaner, so it looks like that. That keeps it from sliding. It still goes left and right, but at least it's not pulling it off the table. And now we are going to separate loops. So you're gonna pull a loop, and then a tail, and then you're going to go to the other side and find the exact same ribbon, and now you're going to pull them in opposite directions. So here's the tail, and here's the loop. So if you were looking at this from the top, you have the loops and the tails completely opposite of each other, and then you're going to continue to do the process all the way down but opposite. So now we pull the tail here and the loop here. Go back to the other side, same thing. We're going to pull the tail here and the loop here, and what it does is it kind of staggers your color combinations. Every other color, loops, and then tails are all going to be opposites as you continue to work down your layers. So rather than put purple back on purple, I'm going to take the purple and go on beige, so it just kind of gives it a different look. Whatever you do here, you just got to do opposites. So there's my loop and tail, and then I'm going to do the same thing, loop and tail, loop and tail. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go back to the same because I don't want purple on purple. And then we're going to do the same over here. And then from here, we're doing loop and tail. And then right here. And then from here is when you start to pull out your loops, fluff your tails. You decide as a designer, what do you want it to look like? What colors do you want to come up in between ribbon tails? Do you want your tails all to one side? Do you want them to mix with loops? You're the designer, so you decide. So kind of like this one over here. Bring the tail over here. And then don't forget the ones on the bottom. Trying to see which way they are. Here, open those, open those, and then here you can fan your tails on your larger. And then if you want to put the curls back in your ribbon, you just run your fingers through them like you used to do with curling ribbon back in that day. There we go. Just looking for the other sheer purple. Okay. So there is our bow. You're awful quiet over there.
No, they're just saying beautiful.
So now we'll take that off. Okay, we'll bring this back out. And that goes off to the side. We will now attach our sign. So I am using 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch pliers. And I'm just popping holes in my sign like you would a hole punch. This punches really nice holes in your sign. You could use pipe cleaners, you can use floral wire. Floral wire.
Yes, I need that board ASAP. Just go to Home Depot or Lowe's.
Yeah, just make it a trip this weekend.
24 inch by 1 or 3/4 inch. I buy like a 1 inch C-hook and screw it in the middle.
Yeah, it's super simple. And then you're like, oh my word, it changes everything. But when I started off, I fluffed all my bows on my wreaths. Because I never saw the point of, well, you're gonna fluff it on a board, you're gonna take it off, you're gonna put it on the wreath, and you still have to refluff it. So why not just fluff it on the wreath? 2. So I just attach these and redirect the wire to be on the back rather than off to the side. So this is 22 gauge floral wire. So it's got some weight to it. Okay. We are now going to add this right to the center of our design. And you'll see now how that just pops all that purple let me get it attached to my frame. There's one. There we go. All right. Just kind of lightly push this in so I can kind of gauge approximately where I should start twisting. So I love this. You can incorporate grapes, eggplant, because those are all that's coming out of the cornucopia is those colors. So it would definitely really play to the theme if you did the same. I don't know if I would put eggplant in there, but definitely maybe grapes. Could be a fall winery wreath. Okay, let me make sure all my purple's pulled out. There we go. Sometimes it gets recentered back to the side. You need to pull them back out to the front. Spin around, do the same thing.
Oh, that's a great compliment.
What's that?
Rita said, I can't believe how much I've learned from you since I started watching you and joined the private group. My project looks so much better.
Oh, thank you, Rita. That's really sweet. That would be my goal, right? To teach you how to make things that are beautiful. Like, I think the challenge we're gonna put out there is for all the private group members, show me what you did this year to decorate your home.
Audrey, I don't think so. She asked, does it have corn on the sign?
No.
No.
It has pears, pumpkins, sunflowers, all different color leaves, grapes.
Yeah.
And apples and eggplant and some berries, like regular fall berries, and just multicolored fall leaves. So this will be challenging because Give Thanks is on one side. So I think we are mixing it up and putting the bow on the opposite.
I'll try that.
So flip to the side. Let me tilt it this way so you don't get the reflection of the lights over here.
That's good.
Okay. So I'm going to flip this over. And we're going to go ahead and locate my pipe cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and place this right up here, right in our beige area. So let's get this down into the frame. Make sure it hits the frame. Because now we're dealing with jute mesh, which has those natural fibers in it, which can sometimes be a challenge to pull our bows down enough. Let me see. I like where that's going to sit. Once I pull it back where it should be, and refluff everything. I like the fact the purple is sheer enough. Let's make sure these fan where they're supposed to. Let's spin it around, because I'm always a right side bow person. So I always put my bows on the right hand side. Okay, I think that works. Let me pull it back just a touch. There. Okay, make sure everything's fanned out. So reopened. We have some of our ribbon filtering down. Spinning, spinning, fluffing, spinning. Okay, so there is our bow added to the sign, and now we're going to embellish. okay, because it needs something besides this. So, glue gun is on.
And just as well, my favorite color is purple.
Oh, it's my favorite color, purple and black. So, we have purple, like a plum colored hydrangea. So we're going to be incorporating this around a lot of our beige areas. We are going to be taking some of our pumpkin picks and adding those around our sign. Those will go in probably last. These are the fall leaves that I was telling you. So when you pair these, it's in that darker color palette. So these will work. And then we have these purple colored berries. Those are going to go on. They're not going to be grapes, but they'll just be berries. Yes, they would be blueberries. We have some of the larger orange, cranberry, and blueberry type berries. And then we're going to possibly put these in, which I have to look up because I don't know what they're called. So I'm going to start breaking these down and adding our fall. These are all from Hobby Lobby.
Hey, Lena, yeah, you're pretty close to us now. She's all live in Riverside County.
Oh, yeah.
I'm new to your page. Thank you for answering my questions. The wreath is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Okay. So there's that. So we have a couple of these that we're going to be incorporating with our fall leaves. We are just going to pull these off in bunches. So I think there's 4 of them. There we go. And I'm going to take the fall leaves and I'm actually going to be adding these. Let me look. I like that look. I kind of do. So they're kind of in a little U shape. Let me move these off to the side. Okay. So used to things being that way, and this is work zone. So they're like in a little U. So I'm going right behind my bow and bringing these up underneath the bow, but I'm going to glue them so that they're in here around the fall leaves part. So,
David said, let's all get together one day.
We are. I just planning, right? Busy season. I get asked that a lot. So when are we doing this? I'm like, oh my word. Even family. It's like, when are we going to get together? And I'm like, busy season. This is what we wait for our entire year to be busy. Not overly busy, not bad busy, but I'm going to do these every other one. So I have 4, and I have a little bit more, so we'll see. I'm just kind of mixing the colors. So I'm going right to the base and then just pulling the leaves in the front. So it glues in the back. There's that. So you'll see it as I spin it around, what it looks like. One there, one there, one there. Okay, I'm still gonna go around even though it's kind of hidden, but we're gonna be consistent. Let's be consistent. 1, 2. I'm just gonna do this here, right underneath. I have one right here. Let's see. There's another one. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit bigger diameter on the opposites. Okay. You'll see in a second. Because we're adding just a little pop of orange and yellow. So I'm just putting my glue right where it would go through the stem hole. So it's just a small little dab Not overly crazy. Okay. So, there we have, so far, open these up. I don't know why these keep collapsing. I keep smashing them while I'm working. So there's just adding the fall leaves around the outside. Okay. I'm going to take my hydrangea. There's that. That will go over there for the leaves. Now when you look up here in the hydrangeas, there's a couple different picks. So I'm just separating them. I'm like deconstructing the flower. So they have their own little clumps of florals. So I am coming in, I think I want this one here. Let's take this off. Down. This needs to go with some fall leaves. I'm trying to think of how it sits on the frame. Trying to add where I want these to go. And oh yeah, okay. So this is what you do. You play and you experiment with your colors. So we're putting our purple hydrangeas in here. Here's our triangle. Remember we always talked about triangles? So here's one triangle, and then pumpkin, pumpkin, and our bow is the second triangle. But we're gonna go ahead and glue these first because our pumpkins have to have some embellishments for them to sit under, like some fall leaves or some purpley kind of picks. And these flowers are just getting adhered to the mesh that is all around and under the sign. Right there. Take this one. What do you guys think so far?
Arena said love it.
Thanks. Okay, I'll pull my pumpkins out so we can embellish around them. So we are going to add some of our, whatever this is. What does this look like?
It kind of looks a little like eucalyptus, that's what somebody said earlier, but it's not.
Yeah, eucalyptus looks like...
Eucalyptus is more round.
Yeah, this is like eucalyptus. This kind of isn't. It's interesting though. I'm gonna have to look that up to figure out what is it.
Yeah, next time we go back to Hobby Lobby, I'll have to look at the pot that it was in, right?
Yeah, but sometimes they don't tell you what it is.
I just glanced at it. I was like, ooh, I think that's pretty, so I picked it up.
Steve's like, he picked out my florals for me.
No, just those two ones we needed.
No, yeah, the hydrangeas, because I had one, where is it? I had one like this that was a little bit more green, and I was like, either find me another one that's like this or something more plum. So he came back with the plum, which I think he did a good pick. I like that look. So we're gonna take these, cut the big bottoms off. So we're gonna take two of the little purples. We're gonna put those on either side, and then we're gonna put our pumpkin right in the center so it keeps that purple theme going. So I'm gonna take these out, and I'm gonna start gluing these in. So they're gonna kind of form a little V. So one to the north, one to the south, and then the pumpkin's gonna kind of sit right in the center. This one goes a little bit to the south. And then our pumpkin, as you notice, I bent my stem so it's down and under. So it'll go down and under that area. And it kind of give me a lean to the left kind of look. Because I don't like them straight up and down. So, trying to find it at home so till it sets. Sometimes you need to help it to stay where you want it to stay till it dries. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here. Both sides. This is our south. Here's our north. And then our pumpkin's right in the middle. Again, you want it to set up where you have it situated. Like this one's fine now. It doesn't take much to get the glue to set. I don't want the price tag in the center of it.
I said you do such an amazing job. When you create, it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Just that I always have a hard time with embellishments. I never know when to quit.
Sometimes it's just grab a couple different things. Like if I was going shopping for embellishments at Hobby Lobby for this design, this is what I would do. I would pull out, well, where is the thicker? Okay, let's pretend this was the purple. I would start with my purple and I'd walk around the floral section and I would just start picking things up. Like, you know, if it was a fall leaf pick, I'd be like, ooh, that kind of looks pretty. And then I keep going and I'm like, berries. Those are in that palette. You kind of make like a little bouquet. You know, these are a little bit kind of on the purpley green side. And you keep walking around and you're like, ooh, those are kind of cool. So you start making a little mini bouquet in your hand. And you're like, ooh, pop of fall. This is what I'm doing when I go shopping. And then those all go in the cart. I'm like, okay, everything matched. So now I'm gonna go in and add some berries.
Is that kind of like a mock-up?
Kind of, I guess. Yeah, it'd be a floral mock-up in your hand.
There you go.
Which I think if you ever watch people at Hobby Lobby, as they're, you know, they're picking out their florals or whatever they want to put together in arrangement, they're doing the exact same thing. They're picking things up and then they walk through the aisles and pick what they like. You know, whatever strikes their fancy.
So it's very pretty, just like a new wood because you made it.
That's not true. I've made a lot of disasters. I really have. I'm fanning out my little bottoms here as I'm going around. So the places where I have the fall florals, I'm just picking a bunch of the berries off and tucking those into the center of the leaves. And I'll show you what I'm doing. Trying to get the glue threads out of the way because no one wants to see glue threads. Unless you're making a Halloween wreath with spiders in it, then that's an accent. So I'm adding the berries to the fall leaf pits, wherever we have those little bunches of leaves. So it kind of looks like a berry bunch. I'm kind of picky what my berries look like though. That one's, I have a couple of them. Readjusting some berries that need to go. There we go. Because I don't like to see the white. Now somebody did give me a tip You know, like how some of our berries might have a white spot in them where maybe they glued them together and I don't know, they stuck and somebody pulled on them. And so you have that white spot. If you have nail polish remover in a fairly close shade, just touch it up. And then you don't have to get rid of your little berry pick because you have one spot where there might be a white berry in it. So like with this one, I'm just going in and removing the one defective berry. And this one needs to go. And now I have a perfectly placed berry pick with no white on it. So yeah, not every pick is perfect. You know, sometimes you're in a mad dash, you dash in, dash out, and that's what you get. I know we're going to add one to the center. So I'm looking for a smaller bunch to add to the center. That one works perfect. It's like a little triangle shaped piece. So I'm going to add that right to the center. So as you can see, it kind of fits perfectly inside. Okay. We've got a couple other little pieces. So there's one, there's two. There we go. Sit where I want it to sit. Possibly. Okay, last little piece. I'm just taking a couple little berries and just tying them into where our pumpkins are. Down towards the bottom. Okay, and then we'll add just a couple of these. I try to get the ones that have at least 3 different colors on them. Sometimes you don't get that choice. So we'll go with the orange and the plum. We're going to tuck those around our pumpkins to tie the orange into the purple. So I'll spin this around so you can see that side. And the same here. Okay, I think we're done. I think it came out better than I anticipated it would. Yeah. Move all this stuff to the side so I can fan out my ribbon tails really quick. So that's the fun part. Is taking your stretchy ribbon and stretching it.
Joanna, yes, she does sell and ship these wreaths. This wreath is available on her website.
Yeah.
I'll post it right now.
Yeah, so the website has undergone some serious design updates. So now it's very seasonally decorated, I guess would be the perfect word to say. So now you can just look under fall, Thanksgiving, winter, Christmas, and it'll take you right to those collections. So this one is actually under new product. It actually comes up under fall as well too. So, and this one, believe it or not, is listed for $87. So it's a reasonably priced one, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So We're gonna put it up on the door. Standard size outdoor door, 36 inches wide. So you'll see that this, if it was on your front door, this is exactly the size of your wreath it would be. And we are taking this, placing this up so you can see. We will move our hydrangea berries up just a touch so we can actually see. It says give thanks. Move all our ribbons and tails. So they're all.
I could see that being the trend color for next year.
Wouldn't this be a good trending color?
Yeah.
This was a trending color, I think, 2 years ago. Everybody, I was getting people like, do you do anything in purple for fall? And I was like, at the time, you had to just pick non-fall purple, or you ended up going more winery. And I got it. I think it's going to keep going. There you go. So, yeah, I mean, it falls into winery fall. It could be for a winery if you want it. It's entirely up to you. You could go winery with it.
How dare they call about our car's extended warranty during the video?
Right? Exactly. Yeah, car warranty is probably expired. But I hope you guys found this enjoyable and easy to watch, and that you learned something new. That you, if you need a color mesh and they don't have it, consider, getting plain white, which everybody has available, and take it out with a hanger with the little pant clippies and clip your Deco mesh in it, spray it, flip it, spray it again, let it dry. It was literally dry perfectly in like 10 minutes. So, yeah, that worked out perfect. So, any other questions, Steve?
That's it.
Okay,
don't talk about your private group.
Oh yeah, if you want to join the private group, just go to KatsCreationsNMore.com. It's right at the very top of the page. It says Kats Creations Private Group. We meet every Sunday at 3 Pacific, which is 5 Central, 6 Eastern. And then on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't make those times, you get that. The replays are always available. You get access to my private library for the last 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years. The last 4 years of private group tutorials. You can watch them all from beginning to end. They give lots to binge watch. Discounts on supplies from different vendors. Materials list. So if you want to know the SKU numbers and item numbers of everything that I just did, you get a shopping list, and dimensions, materials like 14-inch tails, cut to 20-inch ruffles or whatever we were doing. So you have all those, and then there's a video link for that. So we're trying to make it as easy as Facebook would allow us to do. But if you're interested, come join me. We're doing 8 additional tutorials every month through mid-December. So you'll have a grand total, I think, sometimes between 8 and 10 additional tutorials. And that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you guys will come back on Sunday at 6 Pacific, this in the public group, which is 8 Central, 9 Eastern time, and we're doing Christmas. So we're going to do a Christmas wreath and start rolling our Christmas out. Okay. Well, have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.